Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for a little movie called Get Out, which if you do not know, this is the directorial debut of Jordan Peele, my man, my homeboy, my brother. I'm saying all these things white people would say to black people. There's a reason for that, because there's a lot of that in this movie, and I'll explain in a second. But this, of course, is directed by Jordan Peele, one of the guys from Key and Peele, and one of the guys from Keanu, which came out last year, which I really love that movie, and I love Key and Peele. I think that's a really funny series. I'll bet I haven't watched every single episode, but I've seen a lot of them. I was just like on a binge of Key and Peele like early last year when the Keanu trailer came out, I think. Maybe even late 2015, I don't even remember. But I was just watching tons and tons of Key and Peele. I was just like, oh man, these guys are hilarious. I can't wait for this movie. And I really love that movie. And after this trailer came out back in like October last year, I was like, you know what? This looks insane. It looks like it's definitely supposed to be a comedy also, which I got a lot of shit for saying that in my trailer reaction. Some people were like, it's definitely not a comedy, which, seeing it now, those people definitely didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, because it's definitely part comedy. Maybe not all of it, of course, but it's definitely part comedy. I was really excited because that trailer was insane, weird, and very original and different, and it didn't look like some shitty, you know, not straight to DVD, but, you know, a horror movie that looks like it should have went straight to DVD. It didn't look like the Bye Bye Man. Oh shit, I said his name, fuck! Never mind, he's just standing there, pointing at me. Bye Bye Man's not that much of a threat. He's actually really not even that scary looking. Yeah, he's not scary at all. But you know what is scary? White people. Now, I know the Bye Bye Man, he is white. He's actually very white. He's pale white. But that's not the white I'm talking about. I'm talking about this white. This is scary, especially for someone like Chris, who is played by Daniel Kaluuya in this movie, who, of course, has a white girlfriend. He is a black man. He has a white girlfriend, and he's going to visit the white girl. Her name is Rose. I don't even know. Played by Allison Williams, who's from Girls. And he's going to visit her family, who is, of course, you know, white. So it's a little awkward there, especially since she didn't really tell the family that he's black. So it's a little awkward. And he goes there, and for the most part, you know, it's the typical white family. Like, the father's like trying to be really cool and hip with the black guy. And he's just like, hey, what's up, my man? You know, Tiger Woods, right? Oh, Jesse Owens. He's cool, right? Obama, I voted for him twice. I would have voted for him 3 times. You know, he's doing all that stuff. And it starts to get a little weird. Very weird, okay? People start acting weird. More white people start coming over for a party. Things are just happening that I don't really want to explain too much. But let's just say it starts getting very, very weird. Very, very racially insensitive towards this man, Chris. And you feel his... Even if you're not black, which I'm not. I don't think so. Maybe inside. I might be black inside. But that might be because of lung cancer. I'm not sure. But... What? But you do understand and feel for him while he's in this very, very awkward situation where all these like white people are like touching him and stuff and going like, whoa, you know, black people are good at sports, right? You know, these white people aren't, I wouldn't say racist. It's not like they're calling him like, hey, what's up, N-word or something. They're not saying stuff like that. It's more just like they're being racially insensitive without really knowing it. They're kind of clueless, and as one character says, played by Stephen Root, they're all ignorant, and they don't realize that this guy's getting offended, but he wants to be cool because, you know, it's his family, and it's his girlfriend's family, and he doesn't want to, you know, start anything. So he's just like, he's being cool about it for the most part, but you can tell it's really upsetting him. And I have to give the actor Daniel Kaluuya credit, who is actually, I think he's British, and he does a really good American accent, which, oh my god, I swear to god, every English actor, black, white, green, purple, Eskimo, it doesn't matter. Like, they come over here from England, and they do better American accents than us. That's not the point. The point is that Daniel Kaluuya is great in this movie. He really is, especially when it comes to reaction shots. Like, he's great overall. You know, he does a great job for, you know, all the dialogue and stuff, but there's times where white people just say the most racially insensitive things to him, like, oh, I love Obama or whatever, you know. that's not racially insensitive, but you know what I mean. There's things in here that they do and say that most people would be offended by, and he is, you could tell he is, but there's times where he just like doesn't want to, you know, make a fuss about it because he doesn't want to embarrass himself and his girlfriend in front of all these people. And he's just like, he just has like a facial reaction, and he does a great job with just like he has like this little smirk, and he just stares at the person that's doing it, and he kind of like blows it off in a way. And he does a great job with stuff like that. Also, he is probably the best on-screen crier I've ever seen in a movie. When he has to cry, and you see it in the trailer, when he has to cry, nails it. Perfectly, like, just perfectly. He's just like big streams, his eyes are red as hell. Like, he is, I mean, he's really crying. I'm assuming he really cried on set. Like, I don't know what happened, but, you know, that boy was upset. That boy, that's racist. Fuck, I'm turning into these white people. And that's not to say that everybody else isn't great in this, because everybody else is great in this, okay? You have Catherine Keener, who plays the mother of the family, and she is probably the biggest threat towards Chris's character. She has, I don't want to spoil it, even though they kind of tell you in the trailer, but her whole thing is a big element of the plot, and she is really creepy in this. Like, I've never seen Catherine Keener and thought like, yeah, that woman, she could be a really good antagonist in a horror movie, but guess what? She's really good in this. Caleb Landry Jones, who I haven't seen in a very long time. I think the last movie I saw him in was Antiviral, that David Cronenberg's son movie. I forgot his name, but David Cronenberg's son. And he was really good in this as well. He was a little more like, you know, he reminded me of the first Purge's main bad guy. That's who he reminded me of, but he did a good job. I can't remember the dad's name, the actor, but he was in The Cabin in the Woods, which he was great in that. And he's great in this as well, even though his character maybe is the most over the top of all of them, especially the way he looks. He looks like a cartoon character. Everybody does a great job here. Allison Williams is really good, and she has a really good, nice, easy chemistry with Daniel Kaluuya's character. They both really do feel like they are in a relationship, and that's a good thing, because in a lot of these horror movies where you have a boyfriend and a girlfriend character, most of the time you do not feel like they are really in a relationship. They haven't like any chemistry whatsoever, and they do for the most part in this movie. They both are really good together, and yeah, for the most part, everybody does a great job here. Stephen Root's in it. He shows up real quick, and he's great as well. Everybody's great. Oh, but there's one character in this movie that I really, really liked, and he's played by a guy named Little Ray Howery. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm pretty sure that's his name. But I hope to see this guy more often, because this guy is hilarious in this movie. When this movie is advertised as a comedy, it's mainly because this guy is so funny in the movie. He plays Chris's friend, Rod, who works for the TCA. He is great in this movie. He's so funny. Most of the time you see him, he's talking on the phone to Chris, and Chris keeps calling him, saying like, yeah, there's some weird stuff going on, blah, blah, blah. And every time he calls his friend, I'm just like, here we go. We get to see Rod again. And Rod is hilarious. He really is. He's definitely the reason why this movie is classified as horror comedy. Because if he wasn't there, I mean, there would still be some funny things here and there, but no more than most horror movies nowadays. But, yeah. He's great. He really is. Everybody does a great job, though. So I highly recommend this movie just because of the acting, even some of the dramatic moments, the writing itself, and, of course, you know, it's really funny at times. But, of course, this movie is a horror movie, so how scary is it? Is it scary at all? I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, so Get Out is a really, really great movie. But I wouldn't say Get Out is a movie you should go see if you're looking for a jump scare horror movie. If you're someone that was like, whoa, Rings was really good, or whoa, The Bye-Bye Man, that scared me. And what other shitty horror movies came out this year? I think that's about it. Whoa, Resident Evil had zombies. I like zombies. Or something like that. You're not going to like this movie, because this movie is not really that at all. There's a couple of jump scares. There's actually one jump scare in this movie that I felt like was just like Jordan Peele doing it, just be like a troll, like, yeah, here's a jump scare, idiots, and there's like no jump scares after that. There are really creepy moments, though, I will admit. There's a couple of scenes, like in the trailer you see, where that guy's running towards the camera, that's really effective in the movie. There's even a couple scenes where it's just like really weird, and just, you feel uneasy, just like the main character, when like just things are happening, and it's just a very uneasy feeling you have throughout this entire movie, because you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And the main thing is that you do like the main character. If the main character wasn't likable, you probably wouldn't have these feelings. But because the character is likable and you don't want to see bad things happen to him, you immediately are like, you're on defensive because you just don't want anything bad to happen. If this character was a shithead, you didn't give a fuck, then you'd be like, oh, whatever, I don't care what happens. I'm just looking forward to the jump scares, you know. Oh, cool. No. Oh, they're skinning him. Oh, great. Not saying that happens, but you know what I mean. So this movie is well done, but don't expect it to be that kind of movie. Expect it to be kind of like maybe It Follows, where It Follows just had creepy moments, a lot of tension, and really good camera work, and really good cinematography, and amazing direction. Like, Jordan Peele is so good. He nails every scene with his actors, with the camera, just everything. He nails it. He does. He's a really good director. This is the first movie he's directed, and he knocked it out of the park. I would say near perfect when it comes to direction, because there's not one thing here that feels odd, you know, and in some ways it might be like a perfect horror comedy. Me, I had some problems with it. Like, I could see a couple of the twists coming, and even though I do like all the characters, there were a couple I felt like should have been in the movie a little bit more. But besides that, like Stephen Root's character, I feel like should have been in it a little bit more. But besides that, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a nice 100 minutes in a theater. It doesn't overstay its time. It's a fun, creepy, very, very, I wouldn't say controversial. It's going to be controversial. I have a feeling it's going to be, considering what it's about. But it's something that you should definitely see, because not only is it an original horror movie, but it's kind of important in this day and age. I know I didn't talk about the racial issues and stuff like that with this movie, but really it doesn't beat you over the head. So me talking about it in a review seems like I'd be beating you over the head with it, because it doesn't really beat you over the head with, like, you know, all the racial overtones in this. But overall, I really love this movie. I have not many problems with it, but I did have a couple that bothered me specifically. Like, there is a twist that is pretty obvious. So overall, I give it a 37 out of 40. There you go. That's my review for Get Out. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and until next time, mwah, goodbye. Get out. The fuck out.